Hi, I just want to say a couple things about my experience with reconective healing therapy. I went for 3 sessions about 6 months ago, and I went on 3 different occasions, 3 days in a row. Each session lasted about half an hour, and the experience itself was interesting. I basically just focused on my inner being, my mind, and try to focus on my thoughts and kind of disassociate from my surroundings. I had a different experience each day, and on the 3rd day my visual experiences were more than on the previous days. So I was seeing a lot of colors and figures and shapes while I had my eyes closed. And the first 2 days were not as visual, but I still had some sensation. I heard some sounds, and I remember feeling different emotions at different points during those 30 minutes. I remember feeling sadness and happiness at different moments of the therapy. And after the 30 minutes are over, you just open your eyes, and I felt very relaxed and calm. So on the 3rd day, when I left my therapist's house, I remember very distinctly feeling very lightheaded and just not... I felt detached from my surroundings. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I was very focused on myself. I was very... I just felt like... I felt like I was part of something, but at the same time I was my own separate being, and I felt this... I just had this... I felt like my presence was stronger among other people, whereas before I had a lot of problems with. Like I said, those were the immediate effects of the therapy, which I felt only on the 3rd day. On the 1st and 2nd day, I didn't really feel very different when I left my therapist's house. But on the 3rd day, I did feel different. Like I said, I felt, I just felt... It's hard to explain because I was kind of detached, but at the same time very connected to my surroundings. It's hard to describe if you haven't experienced it yourself, but afterwards, within a week to 2 weeks, I started feeling what I would right now call the more permanent effects of the therapy. I definitely felt like the things that I considered to be problems before going to this therapy session, they became less of a big deal in my head. So it basically changed my attitude and my way of approaching problems. Whereas before I would maybe be scared or not be able to handle a certain situation. After the 3 therapy sessions that I had, I just felt more empowered to be able to deal with any problems, So I'm not just talking about the big problems that we have in our lives, but even the small everyday problems or issues and things we have to deal with on a daily basis. I just adopted a more calm and just secure feeling about handling those problems. I knew that whatever the problem was, it was there for me to overcome, and once I would overcome the problem, I would just feel better. So essentially it just the most important thing I would say that I got out of this therapy is the ability to look at things in a different light. I definitely became more optimistic in general about everything in my life. Whereas before, small things would be able to demotivate me or discourage me or make me give up on something really fast. After reconnective healing therapy, I felt like those things did not matter and they were there for a reason, and the reason was to challenge me. So I basically became more positive about it. The most important thing that I would like to stress is that after reconnective healing therapy, I became a more optimistic and positive person with a more positive outlook on life. Whereas before, small things would maybe discourage me or demotivate me. Now I don't feel as scared and helpless when there's an obstacle in front of me. I feel like I have the power to overcome any kind of problem or issue or anything that is in my way. That being said, I highly recommend you give reconnective healing therapy a try. You don't have to be going through something very difficult in your life, but we all have problems or questions in our head and things that we have to deal with in our lives, and I definitely think it can be beneficial for anyone out there who's going through any kind of problem. It doesn't have to be something big or major or like a life-changing event, like I said. It can just be, you can just go and get reconnective healing therapy, even just feel better about yourself, even if you're already feeling good. So the last thing I would like to say is a big thank you to Violeta for giving me the opportunity to feel so much better about myself. This experience was very helpful for me, and if you decide to give it a shot, I am sure that it'll be very helpful for you as well.